Hey everyone, welcome back with another session of social studies. So today we will discuss about the major landforms. Okay, so let's begin. Now, as we talk about the landforms, our Earth's surface is made of land and water. So, about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, and the remaining 29% is covered by land. So, basically, the land area is divided into continents, and the sea area is covered, water is covered and divided into oceans and seas. Alright, so the land masses on the Earth's surface have different types of landforms. So some are flat and some are raised. Now the differences in the physical feature are called as relief. The differences in the physical features are called as relief. Now the land masses are grouped into mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts and rivers. So they vary in their height and in the extent of area covered by them. Alright, so these are the different land masses. Okay, now let's talk about the mountains. So we all know the mountains are the huge land masses which rise steeply with peaks rising to a few kilometers above the sea level. Okay, so these are called mountains. Now, about 24% of the land surface is covered with mountains. Just imagine, out of the 29% of land that we have, among that 24% of the land surface is covered with mountains. Okay, now mountains we all know differ in height and shape. Now few are much higher and few are a bit lower. Now why this difference is present there among the mountains? So these differences are due to their ages. Now in accordance to the age, these mountains can be divided into two types. One is the old fold mountains, another is the young fold mountains. Okay, the old mountains, they are nearly around 200 million years old, and the young mountains, they are around suppose 50 to 100 million years old. Okay, so the Alpine mountains in Europe, the Himalayas in Central Asia, the Rockies in North America, and the Andes in South America are very young mountains. So these are the different young mountains, or you can call them as the young fold mountains. Okay, now they have formed in a relatively recent past of the Earth's history. Relatively recent past, that can be they are around 100 million years old. Okay, so hence they are very high with conical peaks. So they are very high and they have conical peaks. Now why they have these conical peaks? It is because they have not been eroded. So they have eroded less, or you can say they have not been worn down by the denuding agents. So denuding agents, that means the erosional agents, that is wind, water, weathering. So all these. So as they have eroded less, they have these they are high and they have these conical peaks. All right. Now, as we discuss about these young mountains, let's see some old mountains also. Now, the Aravalli Hills in India, the Urals in Russia, and the Appalachians in North America, they are all old mountains. Alright, now these old mountains, they are 200 million years old. Okay, and they have rounded peaks. Now why they have rounded peaks, why they don't have the conical peaks? Because due to the erosional activities, these mountains have gentle slope. So basically, if you see these hills, Aravalli Hills, the Urals, alright, so these hills, they are not, they don't have that conical shape, they don't have those conical peaks, they are a bit rounded, alright, and they have that rocky type, alright. So these mountains have gentle slopes. Why? Because of the erosional activities that took place and due to their age also. Okay, so these are the old mountains and the young mountains. Now next we have, that is, usually mountains are narrow, okay, but they extend over hundreds of kilometers in length. Alright, now several mountains have parallel ranges. Now each range has several peaks which form a chain. Alright, now for example, the Andes in South America and the Rockies in North America are all chain mountains. Alright, now as we have discussed about the young mountains, old mountains, the chain mountains and all these things, now what is the importance of these mountains? How these mountains helps us? Let's see. Now, the higher we go, the cooler it becomes. So it is very cold on the mountain tops, isn't it? So some of the high mountains are always covered with snow. We can all see that. So these mountains are useful to us in various ways. Now what are these ways? Let's see. First, they are a natural barrier against the cold and hot winds. Natural barriers, that means they act as a wall. Alright, so against the cold and hot winds. Alright, next, that is, mountains are the main source of rivers, and rivers give us water. So that means mountains are the main source of rivers. Rivers, which rivers? The perennial rivers, the Himalayan rivers. Suppose Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, Indus. So all these rivers, they get their water, their source of water is the Himalayas, that is the mountains. Alright, so that's why these rivers, they have water throughout the year and they are called perennial rivers. Now, because of these rivers, we get the plain areas get water, and this water is used for different purposes: agricultural purposes, irrigation purposes, alright, domestic purpose, and everywhere this water is used. Okay, now next come up, that is, high mountains help to cool the water vapor in the air and bring down rain. Yes, as we have discussed earlier, the humidity, the moisture contained air, when that air passes through, then the mountains act as a natural barrier and stop that air, okay, that humidity, moisture contained air, and because of that, the areas near to the mountain, those areas receive rainfall. Alright, so this rainfall, in the context of rainfall also, these mountains helps us. Understood? Now, some mountains are rich sources of minerals and rocks. Yes, minerals such as mining is done in a few areas. Alright, we get gold, silver and many precious stones also. Understood? And along with that, suppose rocks, we get big rocks. Alright, and which are widely used as building materials. Now suppose we are building our homes, we are building our houses, building monuments and everything we are building, so we need these rocks. So from where we get these rocks? We get these rocks from the rivers. And how these rivers are bringing these rocks? These rivers are bringing rocks from these mountains. Alright, so from there we get these rocks. So for building purposes also, these mountains are very helpful. Now next we have, they are also rich in forest, pasture lands and wildlife. Yes, mountains are covered with forest, so because of the presence of those forests also, wildlife, many wild animals stay over there and they get their food from those forests. And also pasture land, many agricultural activities and all those stuffs are also done in few areas in the mountains. Not all, but in few areas. So it also helps in the farming activities. So this way it also helps in this sector also. mountains. Now, the mountains are mostly cool during the summers, so they attract many tourists during this season. That means what? In the hot summer season, when we get holidays and all, most of us we try to go to the hill stations. Why? Because the climate is much cool. So we receive cool we receive cool air over there, and these mountains are mostly cool during this summer season. So that's why whenever we get holidays, we go to visit the hill stations. All right. So these are the important features of the mountains. Okay. So I hope this session helped you a lot. See you in the next session. Bye bye.